Okay. Okay. So this is the first investment group. We're meeting on March 9th, 2024. Just a recording here for anybody that missed it. So Dad, why don't you start by just beginning the discussion about where we're going with this.
As I mentioned, this is just a place for us to share information with each other. I had some specific stuff that I wanted to talk about regarding technical stuff like that, the long-term perspective on what's happening in the stock market. But I'd like to go around and talk to Vinay, Jiten, and anybody else.
Raghu is there?
Raghu,
Yeah.
I don't see Raghu.
I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Praveen, your audio has an echo to it.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's probably coming because both of you are in the same room.
Maybe I'll go up.
Or yeah, if you sit close together and mute one of you, that will
Okay, maybe
also
I'll mute.
just use one of the computers.
Okay.
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 One of
Even
you
now?
sit next to the other one.
Come here next to each other.
Okay, I muted. Did I mute myself?
I can hear you.
I'm clicking on mute and it doesn't happen.
There, I'll do
Yeah.
it. Okay, you're set. Okay.
Okay. That's better now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And basically, another option is you can use your own computer, but when you're not talking, mute yourself. That's it. Okay? That's how you control the echo.
Yeah, so Shiv, the other thing, of course, is speaking for myself. I'm new to all this technology.
Okay.
Okay.
But you're smart, Vinay. That's the difference. Oh,
It's,
you're intelligent.
So you're new to the technologies.
yeah, so I don't know how to mute myself. It's like an issue, right? So
Well, I mean,
Can we get an introduction to people who are there? We don't know. Nigama.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about Nigama.
yeah, why doesn't everybody take just a brief like 30 seconds to a minute and just introduce yourself and say what your interest is maybe with investing and or experience, and then we can go from there. How about we start with how about Jiten? Why don't you start, and then
Okay.
then we'll go to Vinay and Nigama.
Okay.
And-
My name is Jitendra Gola. I live in Andover, Massachusetts. I was a scientist. I'm retired for the last 8-9 years. And I've been investing for a long time, 401k and all, and as well as the stocks. I did buy some crypto at one time, but I am out of that totally.
Okay,
Okay, that's what I can tell.
cool. Yeah, I guess I'll go next. My name is Shiv. I've been into investing for many years now. Investing and trading, maybe 6-7 years or 5-6 years, and first few years was a difficult learning process, and things are getting easier now in terms of my own practice. But I would really like to hear what other people are doing, what other people are seeing in the markets, and just bounce off ideas from each other. So how about Vinay, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and your experience with investing?
Yeah, so I'm Vinay Agarwal, and just quickly, I worked for Applied Materials for actually a long time. And as a result, I learned about the semiconductor business a little bit.
Hmm.
Okay? And so it actually has helped me understand some of the investing opportunities in the semiconductor area. Okay, so that's
Okay.
what I kind of bring to the table. The other thing is I've been investing for actually quite a long time, but to be honest, I think of myself as somebody who actually has a lot to learn. I find this business of investing to be very tricky to me. Very tricky, meaning most of the time where I kind of dabbled into it, I came back with my burnt fingers. Okay, so I think there's a better way. I think there's a better way to invest than I know, and certainly would like to learn from other people what they have to suggest about, where to invest, how to get in and get out of it. And so that's basically the summary of what, I'm looking for.
Okay, great. Thank you. Daddy, why don't you give a brief?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Vinay is talking about burnt fingers. I practically have burnt my whole body, in investing in the stock market. And been very, for me. I don't consider myself an expert on almost anything, but I'm very, very interested in the stock market. And I do consider it to be very important. It's going to be very important for us to know how, even for very young people. I noticed there's very few young people here. I think it's important for them too, to know what are the technology trends and, what's going on in the world and what's going on in the markets, what's going on in geopolitics. All this stuff is influencing what's happening. And we're going through a period, I think, over the next 10 years where there's going to be a lot of change. One is, like Vinay was saying, semiconductors are kind of very central to a lot of the stuff. AI is going to have a huge impact. And there will be new technologies like quantum computing and also cryptocurrencies, which are going to, I think, have a very big impact on the way the world works. And they will also offer a lot of investment opportunities, though whether I can take advantage of it personally, I don't know. One of the things that I find, as far as I'm concerned, is I get too enthusiastic on certain areas and then invest very heavily in that area. And then if things turn against me, then I panic, so those are some of the things that I've noticed about myself. And I think Shiv has been telling me for a long time that it's really important to pay attention to the technicals when we invest. And so I'm starting to learn to do that and depend more on that. But I think there will be lots to learn from everybody with regard to that. So that's my take.
Cool. Thank you. Nigama,
Raghu.
why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Hi everyone. This
Hi.
is Nigama. Actually, I seriously got into this one because I have zero knowledge about investing. Seriously, I haven't even looked up anything like any stocks or anything, but I want to learn. A few things like happened. I'm a real estate agent. I have a done business, but that's the question. But I seriously
Sorry, you
want
have
to
a what
learn.
business? A what business?
I'm a real estate agent.
Oh, real estate. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would like to learn more about stocks and like how to invest. Seriously, no knowledge about it. I
Where
have to start
do
from
you
scratch.
live, Nigama? Where do you live?
I live in Ashburn, Virginia.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm. Sure.
And anybody else want to offer their?
I think Raghu is there.
Hi,
I
Raghu. I work software development, dabbled in investment, always seem to pick the wrong time. Always I'm too early or too late. So just, interested in finding out what the trends are and how it goes. And also I wanted to get people's opinion about, portfolios like all stock, what percentage of bonds do people generally have, and how do they structure it?
Cool. Awesome. All right. So I think that is all of. Oh no, Ma, why don't you give your
Yeah,
introduction?
you're forgetting me.
All right, silly one. Then go ahead. So
And the reason you're forgetting me because
and Geeta as well. Yeah.
yeah, Geeta has to talk to after me. Basically, my entire portfolio, I depend on Shiv, believe it or not. Whatever he say, I don't interfere, and I just tell him do what you have to do, and this is my life saving. And he's done very well for me. What else can I say? Not because he's my son. If he was really wasting it all, I would have taken it back. But he always tells me, Mom, I want to do this. Is that okay with you? I said yes. And sometimes there's no time to talk, because you just got to do it. You got to do it. And I tell him, don't wait, just do it. So and I've done okay. I've done good. Thank you.
All right, Geeta, why don't you tell us a little?
Geeta
If you're there, is she there?
gone.
Oh, she's gone. Oh, okay, okay. All right,
Yeah.
so that's it. Now,
Manju, is Manju there, Vinay?
Yeah, Manju's right here.
I'm
Manju,
oh,
Manju is keeping a low profile for some reason. And it's not because of me being here.
because I'm not an investor. I'm a, what should I say, hit and miss kind of person. Like, I mean, like somebody just said, we don't know when to get in and when to get out. I think that's where I just go wrong. And yeah, I'm looking here for some education, like give and take, learn something, and whatever I know, I will let people know, which is not much.
that's
So,
great. No,
Actually,
thank you.
yeah.
I
So I
think
would like to just, yeah,
people often underestimate the value that they can bring,
right.
especially because in my perspective, investing relates to like everything. So if you have knowledge or expertise in almost any subject that's you can relate this to investing. That's my belief. But what I guess what's interesting is a lot of people are having problems with timing, I'm noticing. And then also people want to talk about fundamentals. So I'm good with talking about both. The way I see it is that we can talk about fundamentals of different things, and that is mainly related to how these different companies are working and creating value. And then there's the technical analysis and the emotional context in terms of what's happening in oops. People are dropping out. What's happening? Oh, okay. All right, welcome back. So yeah, I see the technical analysis largely as a way of assessing timing and the emotional context with which we're in right now to say when to move. So if anyone wants to go from there.
So I would like to actually pose a question on technical analysis.
he's talking about timing,
Please.
right?
No, I know. I'm talking about timing. No, I'm asking a question. Okay, ask question to promote this discussion. Okay?
Please, yeah.
Okay.
No, Vinay, before you start, I think
I think
we should divide it into various segments. First segment is, what is your goal? How much return do you want to get? Is it 5-7%? It is 10%? It is 20%? Is 30%?
or
What
don't
do
go
you
there.
want to achieve? What do you want to achieve?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, sounds good, yeah. So I don't know if we are ready to give answers, but I can tell you one thing very quickly, that from what I've learned, the goals on how much return to have are very individualistic, I think, right? In other words, every person would have a different goal, right?
Yeah, no, depending upon your goal, all your investing will depend upon that, because
Right.
you will select, the stocks, bonds, fixed income, everything based on that goal.
Right. Yeah, so yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
I will pose a question to Shiv as to he is into investing. What kind of returns is he getting on his portfolio?
Well, I wouldn't say that necessarily, my my past returns are something to expect. I mean, look, okay, over the last year, I can say I've done very well. I guess my retirement has probably gone up about over 300%. And then my own personal investments outside of the retirement account have gone up. I mean, well over 100%. So
Wow,
I've
that's
done quite
awesome.
well for myself in the last
That's
year.
awesome. Yeah,
yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
On average, it's been more than this.
So is that good enough for you, Jiten?
No, I mean,
That's not something that I would expect every
Everybody
year.
has more.
Oh, wow.
Um,
He's doing
It's
You're not doing
happened
enough.
largely because of what's happened in like the crypto markets recently.
Mhm, mhm.
Right? So it's again because for the first few years of learning how to do technical analysis,
Yeah.
I was not making successful trades like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a learning process. And I think eventually, as I think it's at first it's very difficult, but once you learn how to do your own technical analysis rather than looking at the technical analysis of others, I think it gets much easier. That's I guess what
I
I'm
agree with
saying.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Back to you, Jiten.
yeah, so, if you want 5% return, the fixed income investment is the best thing for you to do. Because these
Yeah.
days interest rates are 5%. You don't have to go anywhere else.
Yeah, CDs.
TDs. So that's why I'm asking the goal, because situation is changed. The interest rates is no longer zero now.
Yeah, the interest rates are definitely an important thing to pay attention to. Yeah, they affect everything. So
Because lot of people are concerned with safety and some good return. So if you historically see the stock market, its return is about 7% or so, average out, so therefore if you want safety currently, 5% return, go to treasuries, go to all these fixed deposits, and get 5%, and you are happy and your money is safe.
But we are not here for that, Jitendra. We all know we can get 5%. We want to make more. That's why we are here, I think.
Oh, okay. So then the next goal is 10%, so do you want to go more than 10%?
Let's start with 10.
I'm actually inspired by what I heard from Shiv and how well he has been performing on his portfolio of late. And based on that alone, my goals have just gone up. I was looking at CDs and I'm saying, no, that's the wrong direction. I need to go a place which is more growth oriented. I would say that's probably the way I would set up my goal is I want a portfolio that can grow at much better than the inflation rate. Okay, that's my now whether it's 10%, I think it would be a function of what the inflation is likely to be. So I think the inflation is below 10% at the moment, right? So 10%, like Manju said, sounds like a reasonable goal for now, but certainly not the maximum I want. 10% I would be the minimum.
Okay, so what are the options for us? We can discuss that to get a 10% or up to 10% return.
Well, that will depend, I guess, yeah, if you are what your strategy is. So there are many different strategies, right? It depends on, I guess, if you are more focused on fixed income, or if you're focused on growth, or if you're focused on value, or if you're focused on whatever your focus is, or your interest is, or what you believe the future is coming in the future. This, I think, is what guides our investment decisions. Yes.
Yeah.
So Shiva, I have a question on what's coming in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody tells me I don't have a crystal ball.
Don't have what?
A crystal ball.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But maybe some people have a crystal ball better than the one I do. Okay. And if somebody can actually kind of have a little vision of what's coming, I think that'll be really great.
You know what Berkshire Hathaway is talking?
No, I'm not joking. I'm just saying is, I think the people who take chances sometimes do have a vision. And the vision may be their own, or they may be a better reader of whatever.
I agree. I've heard actually heard Elon Musk talking about how the Fed makes decisions. Right. And the way he described it was, it's kind of like, you're driving in a car up the side of a steep cliff, and in order to know where to go next, it's not just that you're driving by looking through the rear view mirror. You're driving by looking at like a video of what was seen in the rear view mirror 3 months ago. Right. So trying to make decisions from this place is absolutely absurd. But this is how the Fed is making decisions based on really old and inaccurate data. And this is how the interest rates are created. So the benefit of this, though, is that the Fed is sort of predictable. But the point is, I guess, that it makes more decision to look out through the front of the car, right, than it does looking through the rear view mirror, right, when you're trying to drive. So I guess what you're saying is yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is, yes, it makes sense. You need a perspective of what is coming. You have to have this. right?
No, I
Otherwise,
agree
it's
with you.
impossible. You cannot know how to move.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just saying is I just don't seem to have one.
So
I
This is a problem. I
have
don't
a
have.
have a conservative approach then, you know,
Yeah.
so you don't overdo it or you don't underdo it. You just stay in the middle grounds and do not take, you know, the kind of risks that you eventually, you know, you will not accept, or that will make you sick, I guess.
So
I know I've heard Warren Buffett about this thing that the heydays are over and the recession is coming, and you know, just watch out and all that kind of stuff. So people have made the money that they could. You know, it was easy. It was easy to make money. It's going to get harder to make money now. So I don't know what are your you know, what do you think of that?
I think that's certainly not only true now, it's been true. It's been getting more difficult ever since 2008 because of what happened in the financial system. So things are yes, ever since then have been getting steadily worse in order to, I mean, there've been many transition points, but 2008 was a big one.
Yeah.
And now we're going through another one soon. Very
Yeah,
likely.
that's what I hear.
Yeah. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
I'm muted. Can you hear me?
That my dad is trying to speak and he's muted.
Okay.
I noticed that Sunil Lakhani has joined us. So Sunil,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
want
hey,
to
welcome.
introduce
Hi,
yourself?
hi. I'm sorry, I had to run out somewhere, but you know, okay. Yeah, weekends are packed, but that's fine.
Sunil, we all just gave like a brief introduction. You kind of missed our introduction part, but why don't you just give a brief introduction of your who you are just briefly, and like what your experience and interest is with investing, and then we'll just continue the conversation.
Okay, well, I'm Sunil Lakhani. I'm actually a senior manager and executive in a medical device company. And I've always been interested in investing. And over the years, I've migrated to many different areas. And so considering where I am in my age and all that, right now, as far as equity investing is concerned, I am very focused on dividend equity. So it's growth and income is where my focus is, and then you know it's dividend equity is where I particularly invest. And then at the same time, I've been investing in commercial real estate. So that's where I find that I don't have to worry about the market gyrations, and I can just stay focused on what I'm doing. But I have not, you know, as far as cryptocurrencies and whatnot, I haven't had any interest in it. I don't understand them, quite frankly, and don't want to understand them. You know, I am not. Yeah, I'm not at a point where I want to even venture into anything like that. So that's who I am.
Cool, thank you. So where were we? Where were we?
Um,
We
I
were
think
talking about technical analysis and about the like how to get a perspective of what's coming in the future, right?
yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So why don't you give your opinion on that? Someone.
Maybe Raghu can talk and Nigama can talk.
Nigama wants to observe more, I think.
Oh,
right
I
now.
see. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But Raghu, definitely, if he feels like it, we can.
If
talk.
anybody wants to give their opinion on that, otherwise I'll chime in. But Daddy, why don't you say something about
Okay.
Developing a perspective of what's coming in the future? How do you do this? How do you do
Okay.
this?
I think I have a perspective that I think is a little bit influenced by what I see as the geopolitics right now. And there's a lot of transition happening in the world economy. And one of the things that's happening is that a lot of what they call the global south, which is the same as what we used to call underdeveloped economies, are now developed. And so there's going to be a lot of demand for something that enables growth. And the things that if you look back in history, the thing that really enabled the Industrial Revolution is the availability of high density energy in the form of coal, oil, and now nuclear. So those are the three areas I think that are very interesting, and also upcoming will be probably also hydrogen, biofuels and stuff like that, solar. So the whole energy area, I think, is very, very key to the growth that the world is going to see. So that's one of the things that
Okay, does anyone
question?
else have anything to add to that? Maybe Sunil? Just
mean,
about how what you see coming in the future and your perspective, like what shifts your thought process on how to invest based on what your perspective is of what's coming in the future.
How far out in the future are we talking about?
Well, how far out do you look?
Not very far, unfortunately. I mean, quite frankly, I mean, I understand I agree with Praveen that there's this geopolitical aspect that you should consider. I know that inflation, inflation is a concern, right? But I think the Fed will effectively, one way or the other, manage interest. By controlling interest rate, they'll manage inflation. That's my hope. And taxes are, will go up over time because some of I guess some things are about to expire, right, in terms of the tax rates and so on. So with the Congress being, doing what it's doing, they can never work together, really. So that concerns me. But I don't look at all those aspects, quite frankly, as a normal, investor. And again, from a sector perspective, my focus has primarily been technology sector, right? Technology and financial sector, I should say. And generally, I've found that I pick stocks that are not, driven by all these factors that I was mentioning earlier, right? They're impervious to that. So I haven't really.
Which factors? Sorry.
I mean, like the inflation aspect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's and even when I look at real estate investments, I look for I consider only investments that are completely, they won't get affected by or inflation rate or unemployment will not affect it, right? So I mean, so from that perspective, I'm not a big investor. I don't really delve into all the other aspects.
Can I ask a question on
Sure.
your real estate investing? What vehicles are you using for real estate investing?
Well, so when you say vehicles, could you please explain what you mean by that?
Like, is it a real estate investment trust for commercial properties, or are you really buying properties of your own?
Both actually.
Okay.
So I actually buy commercial properties like strip malls myself through a corporation that I've set up, and again, if you pick the right, if you have the right criteria for picking those, then you do well. So normally I don't go for the big box stores because they will be in trouble eventually, right? So I focus on, I also don't focus on single tenant properties.
Mhm.
Although many of them get offered to me, Starbucks and McDonald's and so on. But generally, because that's like putting your eggs in one basket, literally. And so I go for multi-tenant properties, and mostly community type strip malls, which will always be required over time, right? So anything as a convenience store, a liquor store, beauty salon, nail place, that kind of stuff. It's a combination of those aspects.
Okay.
I don't look at offices. I don't look at industrial buildings because the vacancy rate on those really scare me. Right. So I do buy those, but at the same time, I've also been buying, through syndications. So syndicates actually, REITs and so on. And they give you good returns, over the next 3 to 4 years. So yeah, I do both of those.
Okay, so you said you
Great.
do the strip mall purchasing through a corporation. Is this like a exclusive corporation?
No, I formed a corporation, so I have
Mhm.
an LLC formed.
Okay,
And so the ownership is with the company, the LLC,
Mhm.
right? I'm just one of the members of that LLC.
okay. Right. And the other thing I want to ask you was actually got two things. One is, in your perspective, what is a likely return on your investment?
Okay, that's a good question. So generally, in my experience, a very short experience on commercial properties, I think you can have double-digit returns, right? About 10 to 11% return.
Okay. And by the same token,
Rentals.
what is the risk factor involved in these investments?
Well, the risk factor is certainly, vacancy is a risk factor. So, but once you can spread that risk, you can minimize that risk by having, if you, like I have 2 properties right now. One of them is a smaller property. It only has 2 tenants, but they're long-term tenants.
Okay.
So that gives, and they are all what you call triple net tenants, meaning they also, in addition to rent, they also pay for a proportionate share of their expenses in terms of property tax, insurance, and common area maintenance expenses, right? So that's one of them. Second investment I made recently was a 4-tenant property that had, again, so, and we had a vacancy recently, and luckily I was able to fill that, so didn't have it vacant for even a month. But you can certainly run into that scenario where you have vacancies, and then, malls, you often see malls suffering because of that.
And not the last question, but getting to the end of my list here, what is the uh, amount that you need to set aside to make an entry into that?
Well, it depends on the size of investment you want to make, right? So typically, you have to put down 30%, and the bank will loan you 70%.
Okay.
Okay, at the commercial interest rate, and these mortgages are typically, they're not fixed. They're not 30-year fixed mortgages. So they're 5-year adjustable mortgage rates. But I think that within those 5 years, you can either refinance, or you can work with the bank and they'll keep your rate to a reasonable amount.
So the property ranges are like some minimal, right? That a few $1 million of a strip mall. is
Yeah,
like minimum?
It all depends, you know. I'll give you an example. I mean, I was recently looking at a pretty large strip mall that had 27 tenants,
Mhm.
and it's a thriving, strip mall. One of the tenants is a bank. So it was, the asking price was $11.5 million. Right, so that's like, but at the same time, you can find places that are in the $2 to $3 million range also.
Okay.
So location, location, location.
No, the
No,
point really is if the amount is a lot more minimum required than you can afford, then
Yeah,
you have to kind of forego that as an option, right? So,
no, so it all depends on, again, it's not the location that drives it, quite frankly. I mean, from a location, you want a safe location, so that your customers can don't feel afraid to come there.
Mhm.
Right? Other than that, I mean, if it's in a community, any community, and it has the right mix of retail property, retail shops, then that will always run, right? So, and if so I look for those aspects. I look for, if the leases have built-in rent appreciation, and if the lease has a triple net aspect or not, those kind of things are important, because otherwise you're stuck with a property where your property taxes will go up, every year or every other year, and your expenses will rise because, with the, say, 2 or 3%, cost of living type of stuff, and your rent may not be enough to cover all those expenses.
so do you are you hands-on relative to managing the?
Yes, I'm hands-on.
Okay.
I have a maintenance team,
Mhm.
so what I did was, initially I did have a property management company, but I found that they were useless. Basically, they weren't doing anything. They were actually instigating tenants to get out so that they can actually get broker's fee and bring their own tenants and so on. So I fired them, and what I have now is a property maintenance team, and so I give them, they have a retention fee, if you will, and other than that, I pay them for expenses, as they incur those expenses, but I do all the management myself.
Okay. So if I may ask this one other question about management commitment, how does hands-on strategy affect your life quality, I guess?
Not much,
No.
not much, but I mean, especially in commercial properties.
Mhm.
So every once in a while, like, for example, I mean, on the weekend, I will make it a point. It's just because of the type of person I am. I'll get in my car and I will drive to, both my properties, and I'll meet the tenants. I'll meet, that, and look around and make sure that I know what is going on. But to tell you the truth, the tenants really don't want to see me ever. It's that kind of stuff where, the tenants don't want me to bother them with, they want to run their business freely, and so I look at I just look at my property and make sure that the building's intact, the grounds are clean, that kind of stuff. Say hi to the tenants if I see them, and I'm on my way back. So it doesn't really affect my day-to-day. During the week, actually, I'm pretty focused on my job. I don't even go to my properties.
Vinay, Sunil is very experienced in real estate. He has
Right.
tremendous experience.
Yeah, right.
So beginning people don't expect all those things. He
Yeah.
has mastered the technology.
Yeah, right. No, it's obviously this is like coming through now to me. Yeah.
Talking to the expert. Wow. So
I-
Let
I
Raghu-
have one additional question. Very interesting questions on the housing and the commercial real estate. I have one additional question, which is how have the changes in for you, Sunil, how have the changes in the interest rates affected your strategy and mortgage rates, or have they not affected?
Well, right now they have. You know, to be honest, I mean, I was lucky that I bought these properties when the interest rates were low, but now that the interest rates are high, I find a lot of the properties that are being offered are not really worth getting into at this point, right? So, but you know, looking at interest rates is a two-edged sword. Because when the interest rates go down, the number of people that will be looking to buy those properties will also go up. So your competition will go up, right? That's the aspect. So certainly, like I was talking about that big property, I can't swing that myself because if I go at their asking rate and I've got I've done my due diligence there. And I have developed over time, you know, to Jeet's point, I've developed an ROI model that, you know, I worked very hard at over the years. And so far it has worked out very well for me. But if I look at all of their income and expenses, including rent appreciation over the next, say, 3 to 5 years, and if I buy it at what they're asking at, with the interest rates, you know, my rate of return will be unacceptable. Because what I shoot for, you know, in commercial real estate, there's a cap rate that you look for. And then I normally shoot for 8% or above. And normally, if you're right now, because of the interest rate, you're not going to hit that mark. And the
Could
only
you
way.
explain what the cap rate is, Sunil?
Sorry?
What is the cap rate?
It's the it is your net income, you know, after expenses and all that. Divide that by your what you put in to buy, you know, your 30% investment, right? That you put in to buy your cash. And if you don't get that, then you say I'd be better off. You know, like last year, you'd be better off just buying treasuries and sit on it, right? Maybe make 1% less, or maybe 2% less, but at least your money's safe and you don't have to do anything. So if it's 8% or above, then definitely, you know, it's worthwhile. And my lender is very well aware of very familiar with my ROI model. So whenever I approach them, you know, I give them all of that stuff, and they back me up.
Do you go to the same lender all the time?
Yeah, I found that that's a good strategy because, you know, over time I've developed a relationship with them, and they also know that I look for all these factors when I'm considering investment. So, you know, that relationship helps.
Sunil, can you tell the people here what were some of the challenging moments in management of real estate?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in residential real estate, there were many challenging moments that I went through, and so that was one of the reasons that I migrated away from that. I mean, you know, I bought a very large property in Lowell. It was a 17-unit property, and I had a very good deal. But after I bought the property, it came to light that 3 of my tenants were drug dealers. So they were drug peddlers. Actually, they had these little kids that were running around Lowell in scooties, delivering drugs. And I used to go early in the morning and be surprised that very expensive cars would come by with very well dressed, men and women, particularly women actually, that would go to a side door and buy drugs before they go to work. And it was a big challenge because those drug dealers were also Section 8 tenants. So the state was paying their rent, and these guys were sitting at home and actually dealing in drugs. And it was very scary, actually. Every Friday evening used to be the back parking lot used to be like a party place. And the cops knew it. They would just stay away from that place. So in Lowell, I mean, the cops were all in the game, literally.
Wow.
Yeah, so then I was in a big dilemma, and I had to, I had to find ways to get them out. So one of the ways was that the Section 8 lease that they had signed had a clause where they were doing something illegal. Their tenancy could be terminated. So I took advantage of that to get a couple of them out. In one case, I had to go and confront them face to face. Okay. And actually get them out, and because one of them had pulled a gun.
Whoa.
And so my property manager was afraid to go deal with them. And I said, what the heck, I'm going to take a chance. So I walked up to them, and they were very much taller than I am, bigger. And I was able to negotiate with them and even offer them money to get out, and they finally did. But they had definitely ruined the place they were occupying. So I had to go in and fix the entire place. But you can run into those issues.
Wow,
With the commercial property, at least that part, it's not there because, it could be there, but generally it's not.
Oops.
What happened?
I think there's an internet issue.
Oh, internet.
We have to
No,
remember.
he's back.
We have to remember, Shiv, the Nigama is a broker too, real estate broker.
Yeah.
So maybe her views. Are you?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you for mentioning it. I'm an agent actually, not a broker.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I have been an agent past 14 years, but seriously, I haven't done much business for many things that's I'm dealing with, and I have done business. The thing is, even I am the competition over here is too much in Ashburn and like Loudoun County. Like there are so many agents, and the thing is I'm struggling is about like they ask for commission, which is which is way I'm not able to deal with, because if I don't offer them commission back and then they move on, and so this is happening. So I'm looking for options like how I can be more productive in whatever I'm doing, and I want to learn from people who already have done this. So that is the reason I wanted to get in, maybe look for different options, what I can do, and I want to learn from all people like you, and have a safe retirement. I'm still young. I know there's like another 20-25 years for me to retire. But I want to learn from all the people like you, so that you help me and build a good business, like good portfolio. And that's what I want to do. And that's the main reason I wanted to get into this class. And I saw Lataji on Facebook, and like seemed like I can learn much from you.
Aw.
So that's the reason. Okay, I accepted and sent a message to you. Like I want to learn. So learning is the first thing that I want to do, and then how to implement that into my life is another part. I hope you all guys will be there to help me and so that I can learn and implement it.
Thank you, Nigma.
Thank you for this class. I'm really liking it, like what you are saying, and I want to like what all the other sessions that what you will be for, like what I can look forward into this one is my thing. Like I really didn't know like what you guys will be talking about, so I just wanted to jump in and see, like, so that if any other next classes, I will be very much interested to join and give
Okay.
my opinion about what I have a feeling about the world, and what would be like what is being successful and what is being like what's going to be a failure. I know AI, all this quantum technologies and all that stuff are there, but I have been laid back for different reasons. I would like to learn about these technologies or investing stock options, whatever it is. It's a whole new level of life that I'm seeing now. Not for all these years, whatever I went through, or so I want to get into a new community, build my life with new members that will help me grow. That's what
Yeah.
I'm looking for. Mhm.
Raghu just left Shiv.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You saw that he just left. That's okay. I'll talk to him later.
Yeah, it's time to close this anyway.
Yes,
So-
yes, yes.
And thank you so much for this class, and let me know for the next classes also.
Yes,
I will be very
Oh.
much interested to join. Thank you so
definitely.
much.
Did
Definitely.
everybody get the emails and everything?
Uh,
Is that getting to everyone?
Nigma, did you get the email?
Yes, that's how I joined. Yes, I
Okay.
did get the email. I can share my phone number as well, all my information, and you can reach out to me either by phone or email, anyway, however you want. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Sure.
Thank
So
you,
I guess
Nigma.
we'll probably when does everyone want to meet next? Maybe in a month, or do you think we should meet sooner than this?
Month is fine, I think.
Yeah, a month will be fine.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So
Yeah.
maybe next month we can arrange the next meeting.
Yeah.
And
To everyone, I just want to say, just please join the Facebook group, because there we can post stuff that's more frequent than once a month. If there is anything interesting, we can just post it there.
great.
Sure.
Thank
Please
you.
share that Facebook group link. I can
Maybe
join
yeah,
there.
send that out to the group email
Yeah.
if you can.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Just a
Thank
link
you.
to the Facebook group. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. All right.
Bye, everybody.
See you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Yeah, have a good
Thanks,
weekend.
Sunil. Thanks, Jitin. Thanks. Good night.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, okay.